Discretion is advised.
Police are offering a reward to find a killer who left 2 men to die at a hotel in Lawrenceville. Take a look at these photos of the victims, Timothy Rogers and Ricky Johnson. Police found the men shot to death at the Crossland Economy Suites on Pike Street this past weekend. Police say they have no clues about what led up to the shooting or any suspects in the case. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers. Police are offering a $2,000 reward for information leading to an
A 14-year-old girl is charged with second-degree murder in the stabbing death of a Blytheville man. Dacia Deer has been following this case. She joins us now live from our newsroom with the very latest details. Dacia.
Correct. Police are not releasing the girl's name, but say she will be charged as an adult in the stabbing of 38-year-old Benny Holloman. According to Captain Scott Adams, he says his department will not release her name pending future court proceedings. We learned through court documents today that Holloman and the teen may have been in a relationship, which resulted in the two having a fight. The teen claims Holloman followed her out of a home and hit her in the head and knocked her to the ground. At one point, the teen used a piece of glass to stab Holloman. She says she didn't intend to stab Holloman. I spoke with one neighbor who says she rushed outside after she heard her daughter screaming.
When I got out here, the man was still up, moving, throwing his clothes off, and blood was going everywhere. It was just an awful, awful sight.
The 14-year-old is currently in jail on a $100,000 bond. She will appear in court on February. I also spoke to the victim's family. Hear what they have to say coming up at 6. Live in the newsroom, Dacia Deer, Region 8 News.
Guilty of second-degree murder. That's the verdict by a jury today in the trial of Trevino Campbell. He was found guilty of gunning down Memphis police officer Martoya Lang back in 2012. WMC Action News 5's Jerry Askin has reaction from both sides after 4 years of waiting for this day.
Both families were emotional after leaving court today and after waiting for more than 4 years to find out Trevino Campbell's fate.
So we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree.
And hearing that guilty verdict brought tears to MPD officer Martoya Lang's family and friends. Tell us how you feel. They've been waiting and praying for this day for more than 4 years. Back in December of 2012, Officer Lang was shot and killed during a drug raid at Trevino Campbell's home.
I feel like there's an explanation other than just being mean or just being a bad person. Trevino Campbell is not a bad person.
The defense claimed self-defense and are appealing the verdict. Lawyers say Campbell never knew police were inside his house.
I did not see this coming either. I thought we would get a better verdict.
But prosecutors argued the whole time Campbell intentionally killed Officer Lang and lied about drugs at his house repeatedly.
If you're involved in criminal activity, then the self-defense doesn't apply.
From 201 Poplar, Jerry Askin, WMC Action News 5.
Campbell was also found guilty on drug charges, gun charges, and reckless endangerment charges. Second-degree murder carries a maximum sentence of 25 years.
In Gwinnett County, a 16-year-old boy accused of choking his mother to death.
This happened at the Oakwood Vista apartment complex on Ardsley Place. That's in Norcross, and that's where we find 11 Live's Duffy Dixon tonight. Duffy, what are police saying about a potential motive?
Well, that's the big question tonight for detectives. What exactly led to this? We are hearing that 16-year-old will likely be charged as an adult. Here's the scene. It was around 5 o'clock this afternoon. The police were called to building number 13 on the second floor. Now, apparently, there was a nephew who found his aunt's body in the apartment. Police say it was the woman's son, 16 years old, who strangled his mother after some kind of verbal fight. He then left the apartment. Officers, they found him a short time later in front of this apartment complex.
Police are exploring the possibility that this situation was related to some type of mental illness and ongoing domestic dispute between the mother and son related to the taking of medication.
He went on to clarify that basically the mother wanted the son to take a medication. The son didn't want to do it. Obviously, they are going to look into any history of mental illness and whether that played a role in this.
The city says that bus never made it to one of these bus stops. Instead, a man who was riding started acting strange, and then he he attacked the woman who was driving that bus. A senior citizen stepped in and hit that man with his cane. The attack happened near 35th and Troost. The man could be seen approaching the bus driver and harassing her. Then he takes it to the next level and grabs her from behind, wrapping his arms around her neck. Suddenly, a man sitting in the bus jolts into action and starts to beat the attacker off the woman. When the attacker kept trying to get back on the bus, he had a very strong message for him. Finally, the attacker stays away from the bus and police arrive on the scene to take him into custody. That man who jumped into action broke his cane in half in the process. Now the city wants to buy him a new one as a way to say thank you. They also want to give him some transportation vouchers. If you know who that man is who stepped in to help, you can contact Ride KC to tell us they want to do so.
Rodney Goldman has a brand new cane, and he needs it. Goldman was riding the bus Saturday when he saw a man attack the bus driver. The bus driver, Lynn Judge, remembers every frightening detail.
I mean, really tight, and he was really forceful. And I was just screaming and screaming, that's all, because you know, he wouldn't let me go.
Goldman got up out of his seat and started beating the attacker with his cane.
Because I look at that being my sister or my mother or my grandmother, and I just, you know, I was glad I was there.
He hit the man so hard, his cane broke, and the attacker finally released the driver.
I love him so much, and I don't even know him. He's a good person. He's a good person. And I'm so thankful. He was really there for me.
Doctors Equipment Service Company gave him 2 brand new canes. Goldman likes the metal one best.
Just in case I had to put it on somebody again, I won't have to put it on them too bad. You know, 2 or 3 hits with this and you'll act right.
The bus company gave Goldman a lifetime bus pass and a card signed by all the drivers. Today's visit wasn't just about replacing a broken cane. It was about 2 people building a new friendship.
If I'm on the bus and it happened again, I'm going to do the same thing, you know, because
you know what?
like I said,
I know that too.
You
I know that.
Yeah.
But I know you will.
Cynthia Newsome, 41 Action News.
The charges have nothing to do with the protests. Brent Weisberg has exclusive details on the new charges he's facing.
Well-known activist and the co-leader for the group Portland's Resistance, Micah Rhodes, is today in jail. Over the weekend, detectives with the Portland Police Bureau filing new felony charges against the 23-year-old. Officials stress the new charges, 4 counts of second-degree sexual abuse, have nothing to do with the recent protests he has been involved with. Sources telling Coin 6 News that the investigation into Rhodes first began in 2015. We've learned that he's accused of having sexual contact with a teenage boy that he met on a gay dating app. The alleged crimes, officials say, happened in Gresham and Troutdale. On Monday, following our request on Sunday, the Oregon State Police confirmed that Rhodes is a registered sex offender. We've learned that he's currently under supervision with the Washington County section of the Oregon Youth Authority. Records first obtained by Coin 6 News show that Rhodes has been on parole in the state after being convicted of first-degree sexual abuse and sodomy. Specific details of that case remain sealed because of juvenile court laws. The new charges against Rhodes were filed on Saturday while he was in custody after being arrested last week during a large protest in downtown. Rhodes is a well-known activist. He's a participant in both the Don't Shoot PDX and Portland's resistance movements. Coin 6 News has reached out to several of Micah Rhodes' friends, family, and his defense attorney. We've also reached out to the Oregon Youth Authority. All have declined comment or have not gotten back to us. Reporting in downtown Portland, I'm Brent Weisberg for Coin 6 News.